Welcome back to another video, guys, and today's topic is board visualization. So the idea is to learn how to find moves that are difficult to spot at first, but then they make a lot of sense after you analyze the board. And there are some skills, some techniques that we're going to be learning how to use so we can find those moves and find tactics that are in a first sight, a little bit blind for us. Or maybe we are blind to them. But if you are not subscribed to the channel yet, I recommend you to click the button down below and subscribe for more videos like this one. And the first example we're going to study is this tactical problem here. And this is white to move and win. So you can pause the video and try to solve this problem. And the first step to start watching and actually spotting those moves in your games is especially examining the long range pieces. And you can see some weaknesses in the black's position here, especially this square right here that is very weak, this diagonal. And of course, if you have tried to solve this problem, you probably come across this move, which is queen to a1 check. And this is going to be a winning move because you check your opponent, they have to block somehow. If they play like this move, for example, you can go ahead and grab the pawn. They will be in check again, so the only escape here is to actually block somehow with one of their pieces, and like that you can win the queen here. Of course, if they take back, you can just keep checking. So this is a one game. You have a queen versus a rook. If they try to trade this, you are pretty much winning this game, and you're only going to spot moves like this one after you start analyzing how far your long range pieces can go. Especially the rooks, the queens, and the bishops that are long-range pieces and they can attack from afar. Well, in this second problem, we have white to play and win. You can pause the video and try to find the solution. This one is fairly easy to find if you are used with knight moves. So the idea here is you have to start looking for undefended pieces. And we have a bunch of them in this position. For black's position, if you take a look, this knight is undefended, this rook is undefended, this bishop is not defended as well, so you can exploit these pieces because they are not defended. And the winning move here is this one, knight to e7 check, forking the king and the bishop that is not defended, so we can win the piece for free. And as they move away, we can just grab this bishop for free, and it's a free piece because it's not defended. We're not even trading this, we're actually winning the piece, the full piece here. Now we have a rook and two pieces against a rook and a piece, so we are pretty much winning this game. And you're gonna start finding more and more tactics in your games when you start looking for undefended pieces in your opponent's positions. Of course, it's important to look for undefended pieces in your position as well, so you can find your own weaknesses and try to prevent any attacks, any advantages from your opponent. But as you try to find these undefended pieces in your opponent's positions, it's very easy to come up with a plan and try to exploit these weaknesses in your opponent's positions. Okay, in the third example, we have white to play and win. You can try to pause the video. You can pause the video and try to find the solution here. It's not very difficult as well. And this is another thing that you should be looking for in your games. When you have like strong pieces staring at each other like this staring contest here, it's important to find and try to find a way to exploit that, because tactics might be, wandering around. And especially when you have strong pieces also from your opponent facing each other like this. So this queen here is defended by the king only, and the king is not a really good defender because if it's in check, it has to move or do something about it. So you can actually exploit that. And the winning move here is rook to e7 check, and you're forcing the king to move away or to just take the piece, which is the best option here, removing the defender. So we are deflecting the king here, deflecting the king from the defense of the queen so we can grab the queen. And we basically get the queen for a rook, and we are winning this game. You can count the material here. We are winning this game, and we take with interest with check, so they have to move it again. And no matter pretty much what they do here, we're probably going to take this pawn in the sequence. it's very bad for black here because they had these very strong pieces very close to each other, and you could exploit this by just deflecting the king and taking the piece. This is also an undefended piece in a certain sense, because a piece that is defended only by the king is not very well defended, so we have to keep that in mind. And here we have the fourth problem of the video, and this one is a bit more complex. You can pause the video, it's white to play and win. You can pause the video and try to find the solution. But again, as you try to visualize better, especially the long range pieces like we saw in the first example, you're going to try to see some advantages with those moves, especially when you can check your opponent's king. And here the solution is just this one. You're going to play bishop to g5 check. Your opponent is going to be in check, so they will have to do something about that. But that's not the worst part. As you move the bishop here and check the king, you're unleashing this rook against the queen here. So this is a very powerful attack, and you can win this queen with this move. So your opponent is going to have to do something about this. So as you do this, they're probably going to take your bishop, and you can take the queen. And if they take your rook, you can just go ahead and grab the rook for that as well. And you have here a queen and a piece, and your opponent has only 2 pieces. So you are winning this game by a lot. You don't have to worry too much. They might try to take your bishop back here, but that's not going to be really good. And even though they take your bishop, you're still going to be winning this game because you still have the queen, right? So in this position, to spot moves like this one, when you're kind of sacrificing your bishop here, you have to take a look at the whole board and see what's the effect of this move. It's actually unleashing another piece, very powerful attack against your opponent. They have nothing to do because the king is in check, so they have to do something about the check, either taking the piece or moving the king away. They don't have as many options here that are good, actually. So what is actually the option? Just taking the bishop and losing the queen process, right? And to wrap it up, we have this final problem, which is black to play and win. And you can pause the video, try to solve the problem. And although it might look obvious at first, you might get confused here. And this is the only thing that you have to be worrying about. One of the only things you have to worry about when you're trying to find moves and visualize the board better. Sometimes you see a tactic that looks obvious to you, like, for example, well, I can take this queen and it's, no, I'm winning. But you have to calculate a few moves further. And actually, if you do that, you're losing the game, because if you take the queen that looks, free, your opponent is going to take it back with the knight, forking your king and queen, and you're going to be, for sure, losing this game. So you shouldn't be doing that, okay? So you have to calculate a bit before doing that. So before taking this queen, you have to just move your queen away, so it's not going to be like a check with a fork here next move. So the move is actually this one, queen to b3 check, forcing your opponent to move the king away. So this king is going to move, and as it moves, your queen is now no longer in this square, it has moved away. So when this knight captures back, it's not going to be a fork. So now you can take this, and as they capture back, it's just a check. It's still a check, but it's not by any means winning your queen. So you can feel safe about that. So that's something you should be doing when you try to look for those moves, especially visualizing the whole board. You have to calculate maybe 2 or 3 moves deeper in the variation so you can see if you're actually making the right move or not. If you like this video, please like the video and comment down below. And as always, guys, I see you in the next one.